Hey everybody, hope you're well. Sorry I haven't made a video in such a long time. I think it's been over 2 weeks. I've been meditating. More or less, I've just been going really deep into myself and trying to figure a few things out that's been happening. And I've got my answers, and I just needed to shut out a bit. Um, uh, I have actually made a couple, it's just sometimes difficult trying to put stuff on YouTube and on Facebook. If you guys do want to follow me on Facebook, just type my name in, Farah Nasrin, and I should come up. Make sure there's two, but make sure there's a picture of a flower and it says you, body, mind, and soul. Uh, uh, I, if there's any space, send me a request. If there isn't, you just gotta follow that. I'm more active on there than I am on YouTube. Anyway, so today I'm just gonna speak to you about our soul, our spirit, our emotional self, our conscious. They're all actually the same thing. They're just named differently by, it's just different terminology, but when you look at it, they're all talking about the same thing. Whether it's science or whether it's religion, whether it's spirituality, it's just different terminology. That's it. So anyway, like I said, I've been going through quite a few bit of a hurdle, and I've been listening to my inner voice, and I was in a situation where I was just feeling really, really anxious, and I just couldn't understand what it was. And I realized later that I was in a situation which was not going to be good for me in the long run. And as painful as it was to let go, and to really I think one of the hardest things for us to do is to let go, whether it's to do with our children, whether it's to do with our career, whether it's to do with the relationship. The hardest thing is to let go and moving away, like removing that attachment. And I think we are so better at looking at things once we're not emotionally attached to the situation. So whether it's our children or whatever, it's best to be emotionally detached. Then you can look at things in a more in a different way, and not so emotionally. Because when emotions are involved, we kind of don't see things for what they actually are, and we see things based on our previous emotional experiences or psychological experiences. So one thing I will say, if you're in any kind of difficulties or anything, take yourself out of the situation, and I'll tell you how to do this. Just imagine that whatever's happening, and this is what I learned when I actually did the counselling course, is that just imagine whatever situation you're in, imagine those two people, whoever it may be, your children or your relationship or a problem at work, and imagine somebody else, a close friend or anybody, not a close friend. Just imagine some random person you don't know or whatever, and put them as you, or and somebody else as the other person, and look at it from an outside point of view. So you're looking from outside in, okay, and then observe the whole situation, and you can actually come up with a better emotional and psychological judgment, or whatever you want to call it. So that's a fantastic way of doing things. And also, I think if you're emotionally attached, it's really, really important to meditate and ask your inner self, ask the universe, ask God, ask your conscious to give you the answers. The answers are all inside. It's all within. You just gotta tap into it. And So what I did is I've just been meditating, and I've been also, and meditating doesn't have to be, you sitting in one place and going, meditating could be even when you're walking. I meditate when I walk to the gym, because at that point I'm in the moment and my mind is not focused on anything, because I know I've got to go to the gym, so I don't need to concentrate on while I'm walking there, because I do it subconsciously. It's a walk that's done very subconsciously, so I don't have to focus on it. So at that point, what I do is I really go into my mind, like my inner self. I dig deep inside, and I will ask God to guide me and to give me the answers and to help me to cleanse my heart, to stop the heartache, to stop the pain. And it's not necessary that sometimes we get attached to things that are not good for us, and it's just about finding a way of detaching yourself from that particular situation. And I'll tell you this, that once you do that, okay, once you do detach yourself from any particular situation, everything just turns amazing. Everything just starts making sense. You see things more clearly, and you're not as emotional as you would be if you were emotionally attached to the situation. And it's kind of like you own yourself again. You own yourself psychologically, emotionally. I think those are the two most important parts: owning ourselves psychologically and emotionally, and then getting the mind and the emotions to communicate together and agree together. Because one thing I will tell you, and I know a lot of people go through this: the mind says one thing and the heart says something else. And the reason that happens is because we've got an emotional need, okay, but then the mind records every single thing that's happened to us in our life, whether it may be good or bad or whatever. But if something bad has happened, whether it's a relationship, or something happened at work, or something with a friend or a colleague, what happens is when you're put in a similar situation, your fight and flight would automatically, okay, react as if it was the same situation. But you have to remember, it's not the same situation. So it may be similar, but circumstances will always be different. Always. So you've got to kind of see, you've got to have the ability, psychological and emotional ability, to look at every situation as an individual situation, and not as if it's your, whatever happened in the past. So look at things for what they actually are. And this is what I'm doing right now. Instead of looking at things the way I want them to be, okay, so maybe a person, and I have this tendency where I try and see the best in everybody, but so you will see the best in everybody in terms of their soul and their spirit, because you just automatically, that's what the soul wants to see, because we all have clean spirit, we all have a clean soul, and most of us are emotionally, if we're emotionally connected, we're emotionally good people, unless you've had some kind of trauma or whatever. Now, so the soul or the emotional self or whatever, we like to see how we are. Okay, so we will see how we are. Every other people that we meet, we will think they're like us emotionally. But unfortunately, that's not the truth, because there are people out there who are not spiritually, okay, or emotionally connected to themselves. And you've got to be careful of those people, because they are the ones that have the potential to hurt us, to hurt, and it's not that they're bad people. No, they're hurting themselves and they don't understand it. So they're trying to find their own way of dealing with it. And unfortunately, when people are hurt, they tend to hurt others. It's just the way it is. It's a vicious cycle, and it's just how it works, unfortunately. So you've got to just look at people. Don't judge them. Don't curse them or anything. Once you've figured out what to do, just walk away and wish them the best. Let them go with compassion and love, and work on yourself, on reconnecting to yourself and your spiritual and your emotional self. And I will tell you this, life becomes absolutely amazing. When you own yourself emotionally, psychologically, okay, it's just a whole different feeling. Sorry, one minute. That's better. So when you connect to yourself on an emotional and psychological level, especially on an emotional level, and you're psychologically, they're both working together, it's just such a amazing and wonderful feeling. And you don't have that battle inside you of constantly your heart saying one thing, your mind saying something else, okay? You have to remember, our mind is our strongest asset. So whatever we feed it with, so be careful, because sometimes when you have bad experiences, your mind just records that, and it's always it just keeps on attracting those things. So what you've got to do is retrain and reprogram the mind, okay? I'm writing my book, and what I've been doing for the last year and a half is I've been writing down everything I've been telling myself. So hopefully that's going to be launching in, ideally, my deadline for myself, I've set up for my birthday, which is 15th of March. Ideally, I want it out way before that, but my laptop is playing up as always, and I can't extract the information that I need. So I've got 6 months worth of stuff, less than 6 months actually. I've got 3 months worth of stuff, and I can't get hold of the rest of it. And I've got to somehow try and get hold of the information, and then it will be I will let all of you know once I've published it, and you should be able to buy it on Amazon. And it's actually called called Love for Life, and it's how a dyslexic, dyspraxic, emotional, highly sensitive, came with somebody with it's just my own experience having a chemical imbalance and all of those things where my biology was working against me and works against me even today. It works against. It doesn't work with me, it works against me, and I'm retraining my body. Like, no, you're not going to be sitting there feeling crap and trying to just stay in that mode. I'm like, no, you are going. I'm not going to let you control me. I am going to control you, whether it's my mind, whether it's my body, whether it's my emotional self, okay? You probably asking, Farah, well, how do we do that, okay? First of all, you need to find out what is it that ticks your box. What makes you tick? What makes you feel alive, okay? For me, it's my writing, it's learning, and it just puts my soul on fire. Studying spirituality, it just makes me feel completely alive, and that's where I find my kick. So I found my passion, and put all that aside. One thing I'm going to say is, you are, every single one of us, we are absolutely amazing creatures, creation, whatever you want to call it, okay? So without even, forget your job, forget your education, forget your intellect, forget your look, forget everything. You as a soul, as energy, you are as good as anybody else. Okay, you are as good, as fantastic, as loving, as beautiful as anybody else. Okay, the exterior is something we work on because we've got to live in this physical world. I mean, if I was not looking the way I did and I was here talking, how many people would listen to me? So the exterior is just so there's certain things people relate to, and that's all it is for. But actually who you are on the inside is what matters the most, and that's what you've got to get in touch. Stop being something you're not. Stop pretending. Start being authentic. Get in touch with yourself. Get in touch with your spirit, with your soul, with your emotional self, your psychological self. And if you have to, whatever you want to do for your physical appearance, start doing it, okay? Anyway, I love you all, okay? Lots and lots of love. I actually do love you all, okay? Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I will see you hopefully next week, and all the best, okay? Lots of love. And by the way, if the video is helpful, share, subscribe and hit the like button. Anyway, have a lovely day. Take care. Mwah.